Hi, welcome to AR Karma Yoga. I'm Rachel. Today I'm going to bring you a flow that is designed to help relieve any pain you may have in your neck, where it connects down to your traps and your shoulders and maybe even towards your upper back down your spine. I was inspired to make this particular flow of poses because I woke up the other day with severe pain where I couldn't even turn my head to the left. And then when I thought it was healed, I made the mistake of doing something without warming my body up first, and then I pulled like what felt like all the muscles in my upper back, and it basically made my whole weekend impossible to do really anything. It wasn't until I moved my body a little bit more instead of just staying stiff and stagnant, by adding some movements that would help relieve the pressure and the energy that was just stuck in there from whatever I did. It really helped make it feel a little bit better and help me be a little bit more mobile throughout the weekend. So yeah, let's get moving. First, you're gonna need a couple blocks. If you don't have any blocks, it's okay. You can find a couple books maybe that are a few inches thick, hopefully like the same size. If you don't have any blocks, you could also use like a thick pillow or a bolster, or maybe even a nice sturdy blanket you can fold up into about like that width or so. Not two of them, just one. All right, so let's get started. So one of the biggest keys with this first is to remember the breath. The breath is the most important thing for our practice. If there is no breath, there is no yoga. So remember to rely on your breath. Let it help you, especially in those moments you feel so constricted and stuck, or just like there's this blockage. If you breathe in even deeper, it helps fill that space and release that energy that's stuck inside of there. So let's start first by taking a few deep breaths, really connecting it into ourselves, and maybe taking a few moments to see where that main tension might be lying inside of our body. We already know where it might be, but see if we can relax a little bit more as we go through this, because it's gonna be really slow. So you might get some discomfort in some moments. So again, my biggest advice, focus on your breath. So you can start hands resting on the thighs, maybe place your hands on your belly, maybe one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Just starting with a few deep breaths. Big inhale, nice exhale. Each inhale filling in with more breath. And each exhale sort of smoothing it out, trying to relax a little bit more. Notice if you're gripping your jaw, allow it to just relax. Any muscles in the face, such as the forehead. Just allow your one focus to be on the breath, as long and smooth and even as you can, even in those moments you feel most uncomfortable. Once you've found that connection, you can take a little longer, maybe push pause if you need some more time to center in on that. Go ahead and begin to come to the hands and the knees, making a tabletop position, stacking your shoulders over your wrists and hips stacked over the knees. Just find some grounding here for a moment. Gently start to pull your shoulders away from the ears, belly button into the spine. As you inhale, begin to drop the belly, lift the heart, pull the shoulders back as you feel that saddle in the low back. Don't worry about reaching the neck up super high, especially if it's really painful to do so. As you exhale, keep those arms straight as you press into your hands, rounding out your spine. Belly button shoots to the sky. You can really feel your shoulder blades pull apart here if you really press into the mat. Inhale, rolling back up to cow pose. Heart reaches forward. And exhale, pressing through the hands again, rounding out the spine to cat pose. Head and tailbone curl in. Again, not really forcing the neck to go up super high or bend down super deep. Let it be neutral despite the movement throughout the rest of the spine. Making sure to take your full deep breaths, not to cut it short at all. If you want, you can even stay in that exhale position a little longer. See how it feels to breathe in the opposite position you would. I personally love the spread of the shoulder blades, that push after all that tension I've had in my upper back. As you find your last exhale, allow your next inhale to bring you back to center. And then we're going to thread the needle. So take your left hand as you exhale, reach it through your wrist and your knee, that little opening, and tuck your left shoulder best you can, resting on the left side of your face. Now you want to have your head relaxed here. You don't want it sinking on up so you cause all this tension in the neck. Go ahead and rest it down. And if you need a little cushion, you can place a blanket there. Something, again, that'll give your neck a little bit of ease if it's too uncomfortable here. Now hips are on up, shoulders tucked, relaxing our forearm down. Again, find a deep breath here. Feeling that pull of the shoulder blades from one another. See if you can relax your jaw, anywhere you might have gripped throughout the transition. It might seem repetitive through each posture, through each transition to check in, but it's important to notice those habits we tend to have and then replacing them with some good ones, with some conscious movements, conscious breaths. Slowly slide that hand back next to the face. Press it on up on your inhale. And just use an exhale, neutralize, finding your tabletop. And of course, to the other side, take a big breath in. Exhale, slide your right hand in between that wrist and the knee. Again, tucking your shoulder, resting on the temple or the side of the face. Find some comfort. Maybe relax your left forearm down. And again, a nice deep breath here. Checking in where you might have started to tense up. Take your time, slide your left hand back to the face, pressing back up to hands and knees. Then you're going to slowly shift back down, child's pose. Spread your knees a little wider than hip distance. Allow your toes to kiss. Relax your forehead down as you extend the arms out in front of you. Relax your head into the mat. If it doesn't quite make it down there, you can always stack the hands on top of one another, but we won't be here for very long. Open up a little bit onto the side, so just gently lift the head slightly and walk your hands over to the right. And then again, relax your head down as you rest on top of that right thigh. Keep reaching with your left fingertips. Find your deep breath here. This isn't so much about forcing it, but trying to relax into it, even if it's so uncomfortable. Imagine the breath creating this space, relieving any of those areas where you feel the most tension. Slowly begin to lift your head, walk your hands all the way over to the opposite side. This time reaching with the right fingertips to feel that pull on the right side of the body. Again, relaxing on top of the left thigh as your head comes down. Notice if you tensed up through each transition. Allow the breath to help you to just let go. Even if it's the tiniest micro-centimeter, it's something. Slowly make your way back to the middle, back to your child's pose. And slowly make your way rolling on up to sit on top of the legs, on top of the heels into the hero's pose. Take a moment, allow the effects to settle in. Still maintaining your conscious breathing. And then you're going to go ahead and find one of your blocks and move them to the top of your mat. This posture might be a little intense, so that's why we're going to use the block to give the head a little bit of rest. If you feel the need to, you can always stack both blocks, or again, use a blanket or a cushion, whatever you may need to here. You're going to gently come onto the belly. Might slide the block a little more forward if you put too close. And then start by stacking the forearms on top of one another. And then you're going to slide one arm at a time, doing your best to keep it nice and even, not one side going out more than the other. It's called double V pose. So you're going to slowly bring the arms out in front of you and then rest the forehead down. It may or may not reach the block. It depends on how tight your shoulders are. Your chin might rest on your arms. In fact, you can even tuck it in a little bit in case you feel this slight choking sensation from your arms. Now this is going to be a little uncomfortable, a little tight, so do your best to release those areas you tend to grip. You may notice they're the same areas every time, so maybe that'll be a little easier for you to determine where your habits are. Now being mindful to come out of this posture, use your elbows to press you on up. And then you're going to switch sides. Opposite arm in front. Scoot them a little forward and then gently, one at a time, scooting them out. Maybe that they're a nice even distance. And again, start to relax your head down, either resting your chin on the arms or maybe forehead onto the block. Remember, this isn't a race. Take it nice and easy. Slow your way into the posture. If the video is going too quick, you can always slow it down even more or pause it if you need to. You just want to make sure you're having the same amount of breath each side of each pose. See if you can relax again. It's very repetitive, but it's those habits we tend to have over and over. Your inhale help you to press back up. Use those elbows. You can remove that block out in front of you. Take a moment, press into your hands, sit all the way back to your child's pose just for a transition. And slowly roll yourself back up to that hero's pose. From here's pose, we're going to take eagle arms. It's going to bring your right arm out in front of you, give it a little bend, and then scoop your left arm underneath. You're going to wrap your forearms. Maybe the hands touch, maybe they don't. Don't let your mind worry too much about the perfection of it. You're focusing on your shoulder blades back there as they separate. You inhale, lift the elbows away from the heart. Exhale, try to relax the shoulders. And notice if you're curling your tailbone out so you have this big arch in the back, if so, curl the tailbone in so you have a nice even spine. It's a little bit of extra work, but it's important to have this engagement and not be just all loosey-goosey throughout it. Now, if your shoulders are super tight and you can't even get the first little wrap, or it's just so uncomfortable you can't even breathe, keep in mind you can always go forearm to forearm, doing your best to keep all the way from the elbows on up to the wrist to the fingertips. Inhale, slowly release, opening up your arms. And then switching sides if you did those eagle arms. If you're still doing forearm to forearm, you can stay there for another 8 breaths or so. Or you can allow yourself to just sit here in hero's pose and feel the effects. So again, as you find that wrap, use an inhale to lift the elbows. Relax the shoulders, the jaw. Curling the tailbone in a little bit, belly button into the spine. See if you could send your breath into that area of tension. Imagine your inhales opening up that space. And as you exhale, imagine just falling, resting, melting into that. Inhale, release those arms, and then go ahead and take them back down. Taking your time, allow your belly to fold over those thighs, almost like embryo pose. Relax the head down and bring the arms behind you. You're going to connect your hands to the heels of your feet, maybe separate the knees about hip distance. And then you're going to roll onto the top of your head, keeping that connection of hands to heels. Feel that pull of the shoulder blades as you rest on the top of the head. Keep pulling your belly button into the spine. Rabbit pose. big deep breath still. Just as important as the postures themselves. Slowly rolling back to the forehead, bringing your bum back to your heels, relaxing the arms. And slowly roll your way on up. Again, take the time, feel the effects. From here, we're going to transition onto our bums, onto our backs. So you can go ahead and grab your blocks, move them off to the side for easy access. We're going to use them in a little bit. So gently make your way down. You can roll one vertebrae at a time, nice and gentle. Hug your knees into your chest, give yourself a little bit of love, a little squeeze. Then go ahead and relax the left leg on down, straight to the mat. Hold your right knee in, give it a little bit of hugs. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, take that knee over to the left. Open up your right arm, about a goalpost. If it feels okay, you can straighten the arm. Try your best to relax your shoulders. Allow your left hand to be an anchor on the knee if it has trouble staying down. If it feels okay on the neck, you can even look over towards that right hand, maybe somewhere in the middle. Almost thinking of this twist as a way of wringing yourself out. All that old, stale energy that's been stuck inside the body. Whatever you've been carrying with you that you no longer want to carry with you, allowing it to drip away. Gently exiting this twist, inhale, come back to the middle. Release the right leg on down, pull the left knee on in. Good, a little bit of love, little squeeze there, big breath in here. And exhale, right hand to the knee as you pull the leg over to the right, opening up that left arm again to about a bent angle or straightening it out all the way. Of course, you're gonna notice, if you haven't already, every side is different. One side's going to be a little tighter than the other, and that's okay. See if you can even it out. Instead of putting a lot of force into one side, can you possibly relax into each side differently? And of course, letting go of something entirely different that has been residing on this side. Big inhale, taking it back to the middle. And you can pull your knees in one more time if you like. Give yourself a little bit of a hug. Allow the feet to relax down for a moment, just feeling the sensations of those twists. And this is where you're going to find your blocks. So again, if you don't have blocks, that's okay. You can use a bolster, you can use a blanket or a nice sturdy pillow. But if you do have the blocks, there's a couple ways you can take this. We're gonna do supported fish pose. Now, for me, I like to bring it about to the second level, long ways going along my spine. And then the other block also at second level, right there for my head. Now, if you are super tense, super tight, you can always take it down to the first level, but make sure you turn it horizontally and that you make sure the block resides underneath your shoulder blades. So it's not too high so your shoulder blades can't relax over, but not too low that it disturbs any of the organs. So again, right under your shoulder blades. For women, it's typically right where our bra strap ends, or you can just pop the shoulder blades back and feel around to see where your shoulder blades are. But for me in this, I'm going to take it to the second level, again, so my spine can go along it. Really take your time as you find it. Don't just plop down and expect the blocks to just catch you. So again, taking your time, lining your spine up with that block, especially if you have it on the second level. Hopefully your bum can come down, readjust the top block so your head can relax down. And you can start with the knees bent here. Allow your arms to relax. Again, shoulder blades should be able to fold over, hanging off the edge of the block. It's not being constricted. And then again, you'll notice the edge of the blocks might be poking into your shoulder blades. If it's really uncomfortable, you can play around with and adjust it as needed. But we're gonna be here for a bit. You wanna take about 5, maybe 3 to 5, maybe to 8. Magic number today is 8. That's what I've been using, but it's really up to you. It's recommended that you take your time here. Allow the body to feel the effects, let gravity do all the work. No need to force anything. If you'd like to take it a step further from the knee bend, you can have the legs straight. And then allow yourself to just breathe big, full inhales. Nice, relaxing exhales. The mind may begin to wander here. Notice any discomfort. What sort of triggers these thoughts? Is it pain? Is it just being uncomfortable? Perhaps you can relax into that space. Allow yourself to be there for a little bit. Examine how you react to it. Perhaps you want to flee and run away. Can you instead stay a little longer? Allow the love from this movement, from this conscious practice, conscious breath to fill you, to soothe you. Let it help you have a better understanding of who you are, mind, body, and soul. Now you can continue to lie here with me, enjoy the music in the background, maybe push pause and enjoy the silence around you or whatever noises you may hear. Once you've reached whatever time you've given yourself, 3, 4, 5 minutes, maybe longer, you're going to gently come out by bending the knees, giving yourself some support, gently rolling over to the side, first removing the block underneath the back, maybe a little more graceful, and the block underneath the head. Again, move them off to the side. And of course, no practice is complete without some final relaxation, your Shavasana. So go ahead and lie the body down back onto the mat. Do any wiggling in the hips, the shoulders, maybe the head and neck to find some comfort. Allow the palms to come open, feet fall open naturally. Remember, you're not confined to the 4 corners of your mat. You can take up as much room as you like. Allowing this stillness to feel the effects, the sensations that may have come with this opening. And really just enjoy this space with yourself. No judgments, no pressure, no forcing. Allowing everything to just be. Feel free to stay in your Shavasana a little bit longer. You can begin to find some movements, gently waking yourself up, breathing in a little bit deeper, gently wiggling the fingers, toes, maybe rolling the wrists and the ankles. Take a big inhale, stretch the arms long behind you like you just woke up. As you exhale, you can bend the knees, maybe bring them in one more time for another hug. Show some appreciation for your efforts today. Gently roll over to the side, fetal position. Take your time to come up to seated, however may be comfortable for you. I want to thank you for taking this time for yourself, for this practice, for your body and your breath. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe to all our good stuff for more updates in the future. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.